2BONGE.
What do you got? What you got?
Since I have it at the moment, you the one I wanna shine my light on. Get your life, little mama, won't you get your life on? Ain't nothing cooler than the wrong moves when you do them to the right song, Let's shoot this movie and put the shit on repeat. I hope this memories are making you fall asleep. Before we hit the road, put our phones on silent. Nobody's trying to bring sand to the beach. What would it take to change your plans for the weekend? Cause I'm trying to kick it like eating. The whole thing, the pre-party, the pre-sex. Then we hit the major league with a Jesus.
I like you, girl, in particular. You in particular. Say, I like your waist in particular. I like you, girl, in particular. Yeah, you in particular. Say, I like your waist in particular.
Yani,
And of course, it's your favorite crewman, it's Mwende.
na ameitwa Jamal Gaddafi. Na leo tunaleta show tukiwa Blue Post Hotel. Ambayo inapatikana hapa county ya Kiambu. Kabisa.
Specifically in Thika.
In Thika.
Watu wa Thika.
Mbona na feel energy hapa iko so high. Hao jamaa wamepatiwa nini?
Mimi yeye nini? Ikiwa ni show yako ambayo kila siku unaipata siku ya Jumamosi saa 12 jioni. Yes, right here on KTN. And today is quite special tukiwa hapa Thika. Tukiwa tunazungumzia swala zima.
Tutakuwa tunaongelea kuhusu gender violence.
Oh yes.
Ambapo tunaambiwa iko so high.
Oh yes.
Maeneo ya hapa sio. Lakini nitakuwa nawapatia statistic baadaye.
Yes.
Lakini before tuwapatie statistic kuna panelists.
Kabla tuendelee. Naona vile mwingine na swag. Na vile mwingine in style. Jamal mwana style yake. Memcheck huyo jamaa. Sasa, today is equally exciting. And our first guest, DJ Genius, please do some introduction.
Big Shaq, the one and only. Man's not hot.
Never
hot. Boom. Everyday man's on the block. See your girl in the park. That girl was a uckers. When the team went quack, 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 you man was dumping.
Hey!
My brother, he's got a frisbee. Hold tight, my man. Guy, he's got a frisbee. I chop on the phone. Moving that cornflakes. Rice Krispies. Whole time I get Whitney.
Amazing. Karibu sana.
Karibu sana.
Naam.
All right, kabla tumjue zaidi, we also have our second guest. Please, DJ Genius.
Like my toes. You man thought I froze. I see a plain girl and I pose. You go
Man's hot.
The girl told me take off the jacket.
I say,
man's hot.
I tell her man's not hot, never hot.
man's not hot.
The girl told me take off the jacket.
Man's not hot.
And hot.
But before we continue, before we go back to DJ Genius, and before we continue, labda tukuwajua wageni wetu ambao wako na sisi, two gentlemen. Sijui kuhusiana na mademo wa Kiambu wako wapi, but to start with you.
Okay, I'm called MC Baridi. I'm CEO of Blast, and actor, comedian, and MC. Yeah.
Okay. Makofi ya Baridi yako wapi? Yes, a very big welcome to 2BONGE.
Thank you. My names are Michael Gaido. I work with an organization known as LVCT Health, an organization that is situated in Nairobi, but works in various counties in Kenya.
Okay.
Our work mainly being HIV prevention, but most importantly, gender-based violence integration.
Okay.
Unaambiwa kwamba population kwanza ya Kiambu it's 1,800,000, 31,800. Yani ni population nzima ya watu wa Kiambu.
Kweli?
Alafu youth ambao tuna katika show yetu Tubonge, tuna concentrate na hiyo age ya 15 to 24. Unaambiwa from 15 to 24, they consist of 20% of the population. HIV prevalence in Kiambu is comparable to the national prevalence at 5.6. The HIV prevalence among women is higher at 8.2, while those of men is 2.9. This indicates that women are more vulnerable to HIV than men. Kiambu County contributes of 7% of the total number of population of HIV in Kenya.
Wow.
Yo.
Okay. So even the statistics zinasema kuhusiana na swala zima la HIV, and which is very important, manake ndo tunazungumzia leo Jamal.
Kabisa, na pia kuna pia mambo ya sexual debut ambao ni 6%, and then of the women is 16%. Alafu tunaambiwa watu wanashiriki ngono katika wakiwa age ya 15 years old. Wanaanza kushiriki ngono wakiwa 15 years old. Tutakuwa mambo mengi tutakuwa tunaongelea, lakini sasa nataka upate My County Rocks.
The reality is the youth of the age 16 all the way to 27 in my county are really exposed to HIV. I'm talking about the youth that is working, and more commonly working in sectors where there is rapid and quick money.
Student leaders from Kenyatta University narrate how hard it is for youthful students, especially the female population, to speak out when they are faced with violence and eventually get infected with HIV or STIs.
Ladies are harassed, or where ladies are beaten up, but you find that these are people who are beaten up, but they really don't get to be assisted so much, because in the process of trying to get assistance, you find that people come up and start telling her to drop these things.
Because these are issues that you don't want to talk to, because we fear being judged, we fear stigmatization, and also how the society views gender-based violence or views HIV. These are things that it has taken so much work to enable people to talk about them freely.
Even at the time when we decided to come up with those initiatives that encourage people to test for HIV/AIDS in the first place, it means it was very difficult for someone like, it's better I stay without knowing that I have the HIV.
Violence increases vulnerability to HIV by making it difficult for an equal relationship. It can also be a barrier in accessing HIV prevention, care and treatment. When such cases come up, the county moves in to salvage the situation, but several times it is too late.
I've had 3 cases of young people. This month alone of January, I had a case in Banana of a young man who actually burnt his house, attempted to burn his wife and his 2 children just because he was in drugs. And when I interviewed the wife, she actually opened up to me and told me they were fighting over who brought HIV in the house.
The county, in partnership with schools, is now setting up responses to provide support to survivors of violence and be prevented from HIV infection.
As a students' body, we started a whole initiative of peer counselors, people who would go out there. Now it's peer-to-peer. It is nothing like a youth vis-a-vis some old mama or something like that. It's peer-to-peer.
According to our strategic plans, we have really dwelled on health interventions, but there is no social intervention, and that is the gap.
Oh yeah, and that's what's up katika My County Rocks, and it is right here at Kiambu County. Tukiwa katika maeneo ya Blue Post Hotel, and Jamal.
Yo.
Tukiwa tunazungumzia swala zima la gender-based violence.
La gender violence.
Yes.
Sure.
And people back at home, of course, wanaweza kuzungumza na sisi kupitia hashtag yetu, #2BONGE, BONGE. Wageni wetu ambao tuko nao.
Kwanza Twitter handle yako ni Mwende Masharia 1.
Oh yeah. Mwende Masharia 1.
Mwende Masharia 1, mimi Jamal Gaddafi. Unapata katika Twitter, tunapiga bonga la conversation. Unachukua simu yako, unachukua full control. Unatuambia unaangalia show wapi, una mchango gani, una swali gani. Kuna expert wetu pia wako online wataweza kukujibu.
What is gender-based violence?
First of all, mumesikia tukiongea hapa GBV. Many of you have heard GBV, is that so? Yeah. But now GBV is gender-based violence. In fact, from the word gender means it can either be a man or a woman. So what are we saying here? That any one of those two can be violated just because they are a man or a woman. And there are so many types of gender-based violence, including physical violence, ile ni ile kuchapwa, you know, mangumi, vita, slapping, all that. And it is very common in Kiambu. Si ni kweli, eh? And then we have sexual...
Wanaume ndo wanachapwa sana Kiambu, ama?
Watuambie, lakini...
Wachapaji.
Lakini it can be either way. Unakuta it's either way. Yote ambaye anachapwa ni gender-based violence. But most of the time we say gender-based violence happens because of power differences. Yule mwanaume anajisikia ndiye mwenye nguvu kushinda mwanamke. Those gender inequalities. Then the second one is sexual violence. Na ziko nyingi tu ambazo tutaziongea with time. Then we have another one known as psychological abuse. Ama emotional violence. Ile kuzombwa kimafikira. And then we have economical violence, ama financial violence. And then lastly, we have traditional harmful practices.
When you talk about gender-based violence, watu wanaga ni swala la watu ambao labda wameolewa, mara wameoa. You deal with many young people. Does this affect them?
Yeah, but they don't know.
Okay.
So the challenge is that they're being affected, but they don't report these cases. They don't know who to approach. And most of these things happen because young people want to protect their relationships. So you find like maybe somebody after this will go to a club today, maybe it's a Friday. And then you come from the club, then maybe your girlfriend get into it. From the first time that your girlfriend get into your phone and start looking your messages, you have created the violence. So that's why you feel like sometimes they get threatened, sometimes your boyfriend slaps you. It's something that people need to talk about. It's something that you start talking about it so that at least everybody knows the freedom and the rights that you have.
Many times young people get violated and they do not know. You just heard Jamal say, or rather talk about some statistics, especially early the sexual debut. Ile mara ya kwanza ulitenda lile tendo la ngono. Do you know it is possible that the first time that you had a sexual relationship, that you are raped or you are defiled? Do you know that? Do you know that? Because one, for you to get into a sexual relationship, there has to be an aspect of consent. Wakati ule haukutoa ruhusa, ilifanywa labda kimabavu. Unajua zile za tunasamanga yes, no, najua no, sitaki, ziko nyingine nyingi. Haswa when you're talking about issues to do with the HIV infection. Ile hali ya kumwambukiza mtu HIV ukijua ama akijua ni hatia. It's an offense within the Sexual Offences Act. In fact, it attracts a penalty of 15 years imprisonment. Plus many more. What I want to tell you is that many times for the young people, they fall prey to forms of sexual violence, and especially wengine wetu tukiingia kwenye vyuo, social media, unakuta labda umeingia kwenye college. Kwenye college mnapatana na friend yako for the first time, si ndio? Na tunapata kitu tunaita acquaintance rape ama date rape. Pale mnaenda out mara mob, si ndio? Kwenye ile hali ya outing, mara ya kwanza the girl anatakanga kuwa on the guard. Mara ya kwanza hata kuwa raped. Mara ya pili anataka kuwa on the guard, amepelekwa out, amekunywa drink ya kwanza, ya pili anajisikia au jamaa kumbe this is the guy.
Na nikuulize, wewe umemtoa mtoto umemtoa nyumbani kwanza, umempeleka out, umempa do ya saloon, muende out apige drinks pale hata bili itoke 1500, kuanzia 1500 kwenda juu. Wewe una expect ende hivi nyumbani bwana? Najua simsia bocha.
Jamal tachi sana hiyo. Imekutokea mara nyingi hiyo.
Nimegusia vijana wa Kiambu wamepiga makofi sana. So wewe unajua kama umepiga makofi umekuwa umemuscle mwenzako, sio?
It's not only that you take somebody 3 days then you start. Right now if you're using matatu coming from town going to maybe Embakasi, you'll sit next to a hot lady and then you start talking. You can exchange numbers at that time. You guys can talk in WhatsApp and she's there. You're not communicating, you're communicating WhatsApp.
Na mko hapo mmekaa. Na namba umechukua dakika 5 zilizopita.
Akicheka natuma hizo emoji.
I love your smile.
I love your
smile.
Yes, so those, and then those are things that happen with youth.
Very true.
And then you find that at that time you can go with this girl home and have sex with that person without even you people know the name of somebody. It's just baby, Annie.
DJ Genius? Hey!
bang on the head. Someone who cry for mercy, niache basi, something fancy, keep me dancing, keep me clapping, keep me dabbing, keep me rapping. With whatever I'm making, I just can't be shaking the word. The guys keep on twerking the questions, I'm asking the Lord. Society feeling the tune and just making it broad. I'm just feeling the road, shaking with Christ on the broad.